Mustaqillik bolmasa, erkinliging bekkiyin, erkinliging bolmasa, huquqlaring bir tiyin.
Welcome back to our show. My name is Jessica, the spokesperson for the Uyghuristan Interim government. Today we have two special guests, Mr. Ablajan Ama, the founder and chairman of the Uyghuristan Republican Party and the president of the Uyghuristan Interim government. And we also have Mr. Bob Smith, the president of the Justice for Uyghurs organization and a candidate for delegate in Virginia. Mr. Smith, thank you for being here today. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about your mission?
Sure. I think the important thing that everyone needs to understand is that we've been seeing the Uyghur people have all kinds of crimes and atrocities committed against them by the Chinese government, the communist government, and people around the world have been working hard to try and get justice for the Uyghur people. And so we have formed in the United States here the Justice for Uyghurs organization, so we can try and spark some kind of following to try and get the United Nations and the other nations of the world through the United Nations to stop this type of crimes that are being committed by the Chinese Communist Party. And so our mission is to educate everybody on what's going on and kind of get an idea as to why they're doing it. And we're going to also try and make sure that we organize the rest of the world to stand behind the Uyghur people in seeking justice for them around the world.
Yes.
Mr. Ablajan Ama, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Could you please give us a brief introduction about yourself, what you've been doing, and what your future plans might be? And if you wouldn't mind, if you could also translate what Mr. Smith has said for our non-English speaking viewers.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me today. First of all, I will congratulate you once again, become a part of Uyghuristan Interim government spokesperson.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Then thank you very much, Bob, being here. I will briefly, not sentence by sentence, but briefly give summary about what Mr. Smith has been saying. Assalamu alaikum, aziz vatandaşlarım. Dünyanın her qaysi joylariga tarqaqlashib o'ltiraqlashgan Uyg'ur millatini yaxshimisizlar. Yuqorida biz Uyg'uriston vaqtli hukumatining so'zchisi Jessica xonim ve Virginia delegate Mr. Bob W. Smith üçeylen bugünkü bu programıga qatnashib yuqorida Bob efendim özünün Uyg'urlarga adalet bu organizasyon ve onun buningdeki ilib bardigan xizmatlari haqida so'ralgan savolga bergan javobini qisqacha tarjima qilib bermoqchiman. Mr. Bob yuqorida bizning bu Uyg'urlarga adalet organizasyonini qurishdagi maqsadimiz butkul dunyoga Uyg'urlarning hozirgi yuzlanayotgan irqiy qirg'inchiligini anglatish va butkul dunyoning diqqatini qo'zg'ab Uyg'urlar uchun haq, adalet ve qonuniy jihatlardan foydalanib Xitoy kommunist hokimiyatining Uyg'urlarga qarata ilib berayotgan bu irqiy qirg'inchilikni to'xtatish uchun qo'limizdan kelishicha tirishchanlik ko'rsatamiz. Men uning uchun butun vujudim bilan tirishaman deb qisqacha tushuncha berdi. Yana Bob efendim qolganlarini tushuntirdi. And now I came to answer your questions about a little bit about myself and what is our interim government and Uyghuristan Republican Party has been doing and their mission and their goal. First of all, my name is Ablajan Ama. I came to the United States in July 1996 by special invitation by the Senator Jesse Helms. And I came to the United States for testify to Congress against the Red China, which is I am the first person came to the United States Senate and the House to explain and introduce the political situations which is Uyghurs are facing. So since then, I stay in this country under asylum. And my first thing is, in order to gain my rights and independence, I have to learn international law. I have a law degree back home. And then I came to the United States in 1996 and I learned English. I don't speak any English when I came. So in 2002, and I'm lucky enough to get into the law school in Florida, which is Stetson University Law School. So I graduated in 2004, international law and international business transactions. When I was in law school, I learned that we must use international law. And possibly we can, to overthrow this Chinese Communist government's illegal occupation. First of all, I was focused on how we present our case to International Court of Justice and ICC, International Criminal Court. That's what I've been doing. And also with Mr. Bob Smith, we try so hard to United States government, first country to recognize the Uyghuristan as an independent country occupied illegally by Chinese Communist Party. That's I've been doing. That's my goal. That's why first time we created in Uyghuristan Republican Party in 2020 on March 7th. Since then, I've been president of Uyghuristan Republican Party. And then the party decided to create interim government. And they appoint me as the president of the Uyghuristan Interim government.
We want to be the voice of the Uyghur people and provide everybody with that kind of information.
Bizning bu Uyg'urlarga adalet organizasyonunun maqsadi yuqorida Abdulajon efendim o'tirib qo'ygandek intayin muhim vazifalardan biri bizning butkul dunyoning diqqatini qo'zg'ab Uyg'urlarning beshig'i kelgan bu qirg'inchilik, ya'ni irqiy qirg'inchilikni to'xtatish uchun biz butun kuchimiz bilan tirishchilik ko'rsatamiz.
I know that we all have a lot more work to do with all of our different organizations, but Mr. Smith, I'd like to ask you another question. What are you doing in this political climate to help the Uyghuristan people?
Well, one of the things we need to do is we need to bring together very concerned Uyghur citizens to come to this country for a conference so we can talk about the issues and stay in touch with what we think the Uyghur people would like to have. We want to represent the Uyghur people very much like in the United States as a democracy, but more importantly, as humans. And I have a very strong feeling about humanity. And I think there is no room in this world for one group of people to create inhumane acts upon another group of people. The genocide that has taken place by the Chinese Communist Party is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. There's no reason that should ever happen against any people who are trying to be free to practice their religion, to be able to get their own education, achieve their own personal goals. We don't want to allow that kind of stuff if we can, and that's why we have to take action as everything we can do by getting the world united to stop this kind of abuse. There's no reason for slavery that's going on right now. There's no reason for that. We need to make sure that we can do what we can as a Uyghur people to unite with the rest of the world to oppose this kind of atrocity that is being conducted by other human beings. Why they do it, I don't know. But we've got to stop it. That's what I can say.
Mening hayatım insaniyet ve onun kıymetini qoğdaş, onu hürmetleşlen öttü. Hazır Uygurlarning yüzlanayotgan bu Xitoy Kommunist hokimiyeti tarafidan yüzlanayotgan bu genocide, yani irqiy qirg'inchilik, bularning haq-huquqlarining dafsanda bo'lishi bugungi kunda e'tirof qilinadigan bir masala emas. Buni Uyg'ur xalqi bir millat sifatida cho'qim uyushib, bu ahvolni butkul dunyoga anglitishimiz kerak. Uning uchun biz tashqi dunyodagi Uyg'urlarni yig'ib konferensiyalar olib berishimiz kerak. Ve şu arkalık Uygurlarning hozirgi siyosiy ahvolini anglitishimiz kerak. Mening hozirgacha kallamdan o'tmaydigan, ishonmaydigan yerim shuki, bugungi kunda mana shu bugungi kunning o'zida bir xil qulluq tuzumini ilib berish yoki bir guruhning ikkinchi bir guruhni qul qilishi, ularning haq-huquqlarini dafsanda qilishi, ularga qarata irqiy qirg'inchilik ilib berish bu inson qabul qiladigan, shaxsan men qabul qiladigan ishlar emas. Uning uchun men özüm bir insaniyet ve onun hak-huquqlarini qo'g'dash uchun bir ömür kurash qilgan odam bo'lganligim uchun men Uyg'ur millatining bu ahvolini xalqaroga anglitish uchun ve Xitoy Kommunist hokimiyatining bu inson qalbidan chiqqan harakatlarga jiddiy xotim berish uchun Uyg'ur millati bilan birlikda hamkorlashib ishlashga tayyorman.
The other goal, besides the humanitarian goal that I was speaking about, was to make sure that I educate everybody, which the organization will do so. I have my degree in education. I've been a teacher, and I'm retired as a teacher here in the state of Virginia. And I want to be able to make sure that we can create an environment that will educate the Uyghur people on what's happening. I've also, politically, we have limitations what we can do as an organization politically, but that doesn't mean we can't educate the politicians as to the things that we'd like, and it doesn't mean that we can't ask for their support as citizens in this country.
So it doesn't mean that there's no hope for our mission.
That's right. So politically, we can do this as well, and I want to make sure that when we have, say, a conference here, that everybody gets a chance to go visit with the appropriate members of the Congress in the United States, because we need their continued support on the issue and to make sure it's a very powerful force to work to constrain the Chinese Communist government from being able to continue to do the things they're doing. And it takes legislation if you're going to stop slavery, that they're creating products with the slavery. We need to try and stop anybody from buying those products. If you can't get anybody to buy the products made by slaves, then they won't have any reason to continue with the slavery. We can do those kinds of actions, and that's what we need to do. And on the other hand, I've also, as a journalist, I've retired from USA Today, among other newspapers I've worked for, and I'll continue to try and do the information portion of what's going on around the world with the Uyghurs and present them in this program every week as we do this.
I do have a question. So is there anything for people who aren't super aware of all the issues going on? What can your average person do to educate themselves, or what can they do to help with your mission?
Well, if they will just get in touch with us and share with us what you think, where you think we can go to give us ideas that we really would love to have your input on that. We would love to have our viewers tell us what is it that we need to do, how to do it, and where to go, so we can consider what the resources are to make that happen. And please, this is your government. This is your opportunity to be a citizen participating in the government. And let us know what you feel, what you think, and how you think we might do it, to give us ideas and give us the opportunities to move into the direction you think we need to go.
So, Mr. Smith, what do you advise that the Uyghur people exiled around the world can do?
Well, you know, we have probably a little more than 35 million that are still over in Uyghuristan. and there are 3 to 5 million that are outside the country now, fleeing so they don't lose their freedom or their life. And so these individuals must all get together and stand behind a single government. And the reason I say that is that the United Nations requires that you have a government intact that is, if you want to be represented as a state within the United Nations. And if we're going to be able to pool votes and influence the other 193 countries that are members of the United Nations, we have to be an established government. So we need to make sure we keep an election going that will keep individuals in power to organize and pool together the strength of the Uyghur people in order to do the things that need to be done to put pressure on the Communist Chinese Party to stop the atrocities and the inhumane treatment of the Uyghurs. That is first and foremost the thing we want to do, is to stop that inhumane treatment. We want to stop the slavery. If we can stop that, in and of itself, we've made great progress. So we need the people to be united and vote in a government that then can be represented to the United Nations, where we can then once take one more step in achieving the goal of bringing back the freedom to the Uyghur people.
Thank you.
It's very important. Do you mind if I...
No.
Okay. I give a little bit summary about what you say to my
Yeah,
people.
that's great.
The Jessica Hanım'ın sorgan suali, taşkı dünyada yaşayotgan Uyg'urlar hozirgi vaziyatda nima ish qilmagi eng muhim degan savolni so'radi. Ularga Baba Efendining bergan javobi, Uyg'urlar cho'qqin birlashib bir government barpo qilib, uning atrofiga uyushishi kerak. Shunday qilgan chog'da xalqaroning diqqatini qo'zg'alaydi va yordam qilmoqchi bo'lgan davlatlarning yordamiga erishalaydi. Hatto kelgusida Birleşken Devletler Teşkilatı'nın resmi bir besilingan bir devlet süptüde orun ilişim mümkün. Onun için Uygurlar ittifaklaşmayı, ular birlikte avaz taşlap bir government, yani bir hükümetini kurup çıkıp bu arkalık özlerinin nöbetteki siyasi cihetten yüzülevatkan ırkî kırgınçılık, insaniyetke karşı cinayetlerini to'xtatish için birlikte hareket ilip baralaydı. Eğer undaq bo'lmagan chig'ida bunda chechilarga hareket ilip barsa bu ishlar vujudga chiqmoqi tez deb biz Uyg'urlar uchun intayin yaxshi va nihoyat muhim bir fikrni o'tirib qo'ydi. Rahmat. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. So, do you think that if the Uyghur people created a central state or government, that the U.S. would recognize it?
When I was 18 years old, I joined the United States Army. And after training, I went and I fought for 19 months on behalf of the South Vietnamese people, because they were fighting the North Vietnamese Communist Party that was backed by the Chinese Communist Party. So I have fought since being a young man against the Communist Chinese government. And I see no reason why, until that government itself is gone and they no longer keep doing the things they do. I don't want the South Vietnamese government or the Taiwan government or the Tibetans and now the Uyghurs. These are countries that China has just continued to go after. What's next? What peoples are going to continue to be persecuted and dominated by the Chinese Communist Party? I want to stop that as best I can, and I will continue that fight. And yes, I do think that the United States government, which has been always working against the aggression of the Chinese Communist government, I think they will be one of the first to stand up and support the Uyghur population if we can keep and organize a central state, a central government. We need the support of the to show the people, the Uyghurs, want that government.
So, not to cut you off, but what do you think would happen if the Uyghur people decided that they didn't want to participate, or maybe they were afraid of
Well, there's only one
repercussions?
choice. You just wait until you die, because they're going to come and get you. They're going to do what they want, and you're not standing up for yourself. You need to do that.
It's a very important point by the Mr. Summit, and then I will briefly explain to my people. Jessica Hanım'ın sorulan sualı da dünyanın taşkı dünyada yaşayatkan Uygurlar öz aldığı bir hükümet kursa onu Amerika hükümeti itiraf kılamı ya ki onunla birlikte iş ilip baramı degan sualını sordu. Onunla Mr. Smith Efendi'nin bergen cevabı da ben 18 yaşımdan başlap Amerika'nın askeri bulup terbiyelenip 19 ay yani Cenubi Vietnam'da Şimali komünistlerin tecavüzcülüğü karşı uruş katlaştım. Ben bir ömür komünizm ve onun başkaları sağan ağır dahil terzleri ve insan kılıfından çıkan bunda hareketlerini tekleş için ben küreş kılıp geldim. Bu Komünist Parti'nin derhal olduğunu anlasa, bana aşının okşaş, Şimali Vietnam, Xitay Komünist Hakimiyeti'nin Tibet'le, Tayvan bugünkülükte ve Uygurların zimillerini besiyeliş ve üyedeki insanlarını kağılığınca kırış yokutuş, bu mengü toxtamaydı. İkinci kıtımlık sorulan Jessica Hanım'ın sualığı bergen cevabı da Uygurlar eğer bundak bir birlik, bundak bir hareketini birlikte ilip bağımısa, ya ki Xitay Komünist Hakimiyeti'den korkup bular bu hareketini ilip berişten yaltaysa, o halde kanday buldu dep sorulan sualığa Smith Efendi'nin bergen cevabı Uygurlar için iki yol var. Ya cin turup ölüdü, ya ki küreş kılıp birlikte azatlıkka erişidi, müstakilliğine yol getirdi. Bundan başka yol yok dep cevap verdi.
Essentially, the Uyghur people can either come together and fight, or sit around and wait to die.
Well, they've been able to escape from living under the rule of the Communist Chinese Party. They're going to enjoy some of the freedoms wherever they've gone. And that's just a small portion of the Uyghurs. Those that are still in the country of Uyghuristan that are dominated by the Chinese Communist Party are the ones undergoing torture. They're locked up in concentration camps. They're being used as slaves. They're processing fish in order to sell to Europe and then to the United States so that they can use that money to propagate and do the crimes that they continue to do. We need to stop that kind of behavior within the Communist Party. The only way that's going to happen is for the rest of the world to put the pressure on them to not buy those products, to sit back and make sure that they reconsider. They've changed a lot since the days of Mao Zedong, who took over and started the Communist Party in China. And whenever the government of Hong Kong was given back to the Chinese government by the British, they have now adopted more of the capitalistic ways within their own country in order to generate funds. So if you can change the government slightly because of the economics behind it, then there's no reason why you can't do the same thing by playing against those economics. They will make changes and they will stop what they're doing, hopefully. But that's the only way that I know, is to try and put economic pressure on them and political pressure on them. These are the things that we're going to try and promote as the Justice for Uyghurs, to take them to the United Nations, have the rest of the world condemn their behavior, and request and stop and make decisions within each country not to buy their products. And if they get hit economically because they've adopted the capitalist system by and large, then that's the only way we can hope for the change, for that aggressiveness. They need to stop the aggressiveness. Look, the Communist Party is no longer a powerful source within Russia. However, the leadership is still aggressive, like the Chinese communist, like the Russian communists were, and he's still aggressively trying to take over other countries. And we see this playing out every day. If the Russians can do it, if the Chinese can do it, what's to stop them from taking over the whole world over the next generations or two? How many millions of people must die so a few people can feel like they've got the power and money to just do what they want with anybody else? That is so inhumane, and we don't need that kind of a world. We need a world that everybody respects every other person in the world in a very humane way. We need to be some of the leadership that moves in that direction. History needs to record that the Uyghurs were powerful in order to bring about peace in the world. This is what they must do. This is why I encourage all the Uyghur people to unite together, stay united together, and help move the world in that direction. It isn't just for Uyghuristan. This is for the world as well.
You're right. Mr. Baba Efendi'nin sözümü tercüme qilib vaqt ketdi. Eng oxirgi muhim bir so'zi Uyg'urlar chuqur birlashib, birlikda harakat ilib berish kerak. Bu faqat o'zlarini ozod qilish uchun emas, kelgusidagi butkul dunyoga keltirilgan bu kommunizmdan kelgan xatarning oldini olgan bo'ladi. O'zlarini ozod qilgan bo'lmaydi, butkul dunyo uchun tinchlik uchun his qo'shgan bo'ladi deydigan intayin yaxshi bir so'zni o'tirib qo'ydi. Thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you both for being here.